So you're going out of that into the main event, still carrying this
Yeah.
little
Yeah. That bit of doubt. It was the
bag.
only event
Okay.
that there was a bit of doubt.
Okay.
And I didn't even pick up the medal. I'll swap now.
Not interesting. Yeah.
Sorry, we've just been talking about it for ages. So go into the competition. And it was a funny timetable. So I've never done a hap like this before where it was all in the evening
Mm,
session on day one. So we didn't start until like 2 o'clock or
mm,
something. So I was able to like wake up in the morning, like have my breakfast, have my lunch. It was really chilled. I was able to spend time getting ready. Um, and I actually looked at it as a really positive thing. Like the way I train is I'm on the track from 9 till 1:30, and I go from one event to the next to the next. Um, so that was essentially the way the timetable was. So I was like, oh, well, this is perfect for me. So we started off with the hurdles, and it's I had to make a decision on the line, and it's something that like I've battled with probably like my whole heptathlon career, where you stand on the line and you look up the 100 meters, and there's all these hurdles everywhere, and it looks like
mm,
there's a million of them.
yeah.
And I always have this awful thought of like there's 10 chances here where you could knock one of these, fall over, and then you're just finished. Then it's
Yeah.
just done.
Yeah.
It's over, and all that work that you've done
Mm,
is just gone.
mm,
And for a long time I would have looked up them and thought, right, let's just be safe and get through them. Get through this,
mm,
and then we'll start the competition
yeah.
afterwards.
Okay.
But this time round I found myself in a position where if I didn't fully commit to this hurdle race and run as quick as I know that I can, you're not going to get a medal. So you either do it 100% and risk it.
Yeah. Kid, are you,
Or,
you're thinking this when you're out on this is
yeah,
just pre-event.
yeah,
You're stripped off and ready to go.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Like I'm on the line
Right.
thinking this.
Okay.
Like obviously beforehand, before you go out, I'm obviously thinking like you're going to 100% commit to it and blah blah. But when you're actually on the line, like, and it's in front of you and it's about to start, in my head, there was two paths, and I had to choose which path I was going to
Okay.
go down. And I committed to myself that I was going to go down the risk it all and let's try to get a medal path.
Rather than be safe.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I decided that, and I started the race, and I ran a PB. I ran a huge PB, and it was a great start. And like that feeling,
13:44 was it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that feeling when you cross the line and like I'd risked it all and it paid off. Um, that was class. Like across the line, yeah. It's such a good start, and it's a great thing in multi events to start off with a PB because you set yourself up, I
Yeah.
suppose. And we went literally straight to the high jump. So like we crossed the line and we were just veered over to the high jump, which doesn't normally happen. You normally go back to the restroom, get your stuff, and come back out.
Okay.
But our stuff is all here. So I'm actually sitting in real life. I watch the other girls race.
So
And
so the high jump gear, change of footwear, that's all sitting waiting
yeah,
for you.
so
Okay.
they brought
All
it
right.
out for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got to sit and kind of, there was no point in changing and stuff and getting ready to jump because the other girls all had to go because I was in the first race, the slowest
Mm.
race. Now my time actually ended up, because of my huge PB, I ended up finishing really high up the list, but I was in the slowest race. But I watched the other girls, and in the last race, one of the girls actually fell, and like it's really tough to watch whenever you see like another heptathlete when something like that happens because you know how hard they've worked. You also can put yourself in that position and be like, that could
It
have
could
been
be
me.
me. Yeah.
Um, so that's always really tough to see. It's
Mm.
not nice at the start of an event seeing anybody fall. But anyway, then everybody comes on over and you start getting ready for the high jump. And we started into the event, and I was just really enjoying it because I just had a PB, and like I knew my high jump was going well and I was full of confidence. My body felt really good. The weather was perfect. It was like it was warm, but it wasn't too warm, and it was like sticky, but not too sticky. Where like in the weeks leading up, it was in Hong Kong, it was so hot and
Yeah.
humid, and
Yeah.
and even just leading up in Japan, it was like that too. But on the evening that I was competing, it was just so ideal. And the competition just started happening. I was going through the heights, and I cleared. I think would have been 180. Cleared that
Hmm.
easily, just popped up and over it. 183, just popped up and over it. And then the first time I started knocking was at 86. And like I said, I XX'd. And then on the final attempt, I cleared it. And that was class. Um, yeah, like to do that at a world stage like that when there's so many people watching, and when it was so important and probably like made it was going to make it or break it for me winning a medal.
Mm.
Yeah, to do that at that point was class and so enjoyable. I just enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed that whole competition where I definitely have gone through
Right now,
events.
now you got to explain this to me, right?
Yeah.
You failed twice. You failed twice,
Yeah.
and it's enjoyable.
Yeah. Well,
Just tease that out a bit more.
well, like I suppose what I mean by that is like I had enjoyed the competition. So I'd enjoyed the high jump from when it started because I was jumping so well and I felt great.
It felt good.
And if we skip on, obviously, like I enjoyed every single jump because I'm clearing and clearing. And then you get to 86 and I knocked my first attempt, but it was a great attempt. And I knew I could get over it. And I knocked it again, but I was really close the second time. And I'd made a small change, but I just didn't make the change enough.
Okay.
And like because both my first two attempts were so strong and I knew the changes that I was making were the right changes, I just needed to tweak it slightly more.
Okay. Can you explain what the change was?
I think the first change was I wasn't ready for it. So sometimes whenever you haven't jumped a height before, it's you've got to get your brain ready for you're rising for that slight little bit of extra time, a little bit more than you ever have before. So it is kind of difficult to explain, but I had to prepare myself. So the first time I knocked it with my shoulder, so I didn't rise for long enough. And so the next time I was like, right, you got to make sure that.
So it's as much a technical thing as a psychological thing.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I also had to give myself a little bit more space.
Okay. So the computer has to work here. It's not just about emotion; it's about clarity. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's one of the enjoyable things, or one of the most enjoyable things, was that like. To me, sometimes high jump's a little bit like a puzzle and you've got to like figure it out in your brain and you've got to, because I know how to high jump and I'm pretty good technically and I'd done all the like plyo work and stuff. I'm capable of doing it, but it's figuring out where to put your body at what kind of time and then how to project yourself up and over it. And each jump, I was just figuring it out and I was figuring it out right because I was getting closer. And then I put it together on the last jump. And I popped over it and there was like a decent amount of height between me and the bar. And that's like a sense of like success because you cleared it, but also a sense of like you did the sums right in your head and the mathed and you did it.
Oh, is that PB as well?
That was PB.
Yeah. Is that, because you're still in day one, is it elation or is it a more kind of strategic feeling of satisfaction when you're still early in the program?
It's something so we've worked on for a long time to be able to after an event park it and move on. During the event though, I'm generally like full of emotion, maybe too much, like it's maybe something that we have to consider, but at the same time like you've got to enjoy what you do at times. And like whenever I clear certain heights or do PBs, especially in high jump, like I'm normally very emotional, like I'll let out a roar of some sort. That's just my genuine, like I've worked really hard for it and I've done it. But from doing heptathlon for so long, we've learned that when an event is over, you park it and you've got to move on to the next event. You can take the positivity with you, but like you've got to bring yourself back down to this sense of like flatline.
You're starting again.
Yeah, you're starting again. Yeah, and you just got to keep picking up the points in events. And that's something that we work very hard on because again, if an event doesn't go well, you've got to be able to pick yourself up and bring yourself back to that flat line because, well, if you go to an event and you're on this low, I'm sure you're setting yourself up for failure.
Can we come back to the because I think this idea of being a park thing translates across lots of sports.
Yeah.
But stay with the story of this.
Yeah, so then
World Championships.
High jump wise, then you move on to 89, and I told you earlier that I had envisioned myself getting over 86 over and over and over again, but I hadn't thought for 1 second about getting over 89, and I didn't believe I was going to get over 9. I didn't get over 89, and that was just the facts. Like, it's not that I wasn't capable of it. I just had never seen myself do it before. And I haven't seen myself doing it before. How can I do it? So it was actually something that I took away from the competition where it was like, maybe from now on, let's vision yourself going over 2 heights over your PB rather than just 1 height over your PB, just in case like you come into that position where like you've got an opportunity. So high jump ended. That was great. And literally we go back, get our shoes, and now we're straight out for the shot put because the it's very quick.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, and so yeah, this is the big one now. And we didn't have any time for any warm up or anything before. Nobody did, which is rare. There's normally a break now between high jump and shot. But we go straight out, and I'm in the better high jump or in the better shot put pool, and we start off, and my warm throws were okay. None of them were over 14 meters. And they weren't really going very straight either. They were kind of a little bit all over the place, but I was trying my best to like act as confident as I could be. And like trying to be really, really positive and trying to just do the basics well. And then my first attempt came up and it went way off to the side, but it was like 14:20, was it? Or like 14:30 maybe? 14:20 or 14:30. And I was just buzzing. It was over 40 meters.
Over 14.
Oh, I was delighted. I like let
So
out
they had been telling you the truth about the
yeah,
earlier session.
yeah. Well, I think the two of them were like, woof,
Yeah.
thank God that's over. I didn't throw any further in the next two throws. I didn't care because I was over the 14-meter line and I was happy. I could have left then.
Okay.
I skipped off happily. I was really happy that I got over 14. It was a really strong throw. So yeah, I was delighted with that. And then we moved on to the 200 meters. And again, then standing on the line just behind the blocks before the 200, I had this, like, one of the last thoughts in my head was, if you don't commit to this race, you could say goodbye to any medals that are potentially there. That was my last thought, like just standing behind the blocks.
So back to that choice again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. And like 200 meters is one of those ones where like I normally commit as much as I can anyway, but it was almost like I was asking for that like a little bit more from myself. And yeah, I don't know really why I said that to myself, but I just know that was one of my last thoughts was like, you've got to run the race of your life here. And I got into the blocks and I'd been training so well for the 200 meters, so I just executed the race as well as I could. My goal was to run a sub 24. I really wanted to run like a 23.99. I didn't care, but I ran a 24:07, I think.
Yep. I looked at it this morning.
Yeah.
24 and PB.
Yeah, it was a PB. It was a big PB. It was 0.3 of a second. Yeah, 0.3, 3/10 of a second, which is a lot in the 200 meters. So I was obviously ecstatic. Part of me was like, oh, so close. But no, I was delighted. Like, that was a class run, and again, then one of the best runs that happened out of all the 200s. So I finished off day one sitting in second place.
And back you go, full of adrenaline and caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was so difficult to sleep. Oh my gosh.
What were the conversations that night? Were there any conversations? And what?
No.
No.
Like, not really. Like, I went up and David Gillick was interviewing me. And one of the first things he said was like, do you want to know what position you're in? And I was like, no. I was like, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Like, let's just not even talk about it. I knew I was in a good position. I just didn't, at that moment, I was still processing that I had just ran a really good 200 meter time. I didn't want it then to be clouded with even more stuff. I was just like trying to, during the whole HEP, I was trying to just enjoy each performance as it happened, rather than thinking of it as a heptathlon, just going out and trying to perform to the best that I could. So anyway, we did the interview. That was fine. Went out, and it's funny because like my dad and Tom and Kerry, like, I could sense that they were like buzzing with the day, but they're trying to keep like as calm and cool as they possibly can, because it's not over. And with multi events, it's I could file out.
Anything could happen. Yeah.
So like, they were very like, right, time to cool down. Like, that was great. Well done. Like, great day. Let's get back. Food, physio, bed. I did have a nice bath as well, actually, and that was a whole big faff trying to find a bath. And anyway, so all that like mayhem goes on, and then I got into. But
it's mainly about trying to do some just very like refuel.
Oh yeah, it's all just recovery, get ready for the next day. Yeah, and trying to do it all as quick as possible.
But not over talking the next day.
No, we're not talking about the next day at all. We're talking about what time we're going to get up at to have breakfast. But no plans for the next day.
Right. Do you talk to your mum or your boyfriend, or do you go onto YouTube, or what else would you have been doing that night?
I spoke to my boyfriend. I don't even think I spoke to my mum. I'm very like, I don't, I might have sent a text or two, but like, no, not a whole lot. I don't speak to many people. if anyone really. I spoke to my boyfriend. Yeah. And that was it.
No YouTube or
No.
no poetry.
No.
Okay.
None of that.
That's
Like,
that's for next year.
I don't even really like scroll through Instagram or anything
Okay.
because I'm just like, yeah, just
You're,
there's so much happening. I actually don't have time, and then
Okay.
it's bedtime.
but you're also, it sounds to me, you're aware of what you're going to exclude at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Went into bed.
So into bed.
Fast asleep?
No.
Right.
So I maybe had like 6 hours
Okay.
of like potential sleep.
Okay.
So let's say I'm not into bed until 1. But we had to be up so early for the long jump.
All right.
So let's say it was a potential of 6 hours, and I'd say I maybe got like 2.5. But anyway, wake up in the morning, have my breakfast, and off we go to the track. And all year I've been having some like knee issues. Nothing nothing sinister or anything, just like normal
Niggling.
kind of jumper knee kind of issues. And that morning it was definitely like, it was just as sore as it would have been kind of any other day, but we do our normal stuff to kind of like turn everything on and make it all ready to go. I warmed up like normal. I was sore, as in like my body was sore, but that's just normal. But I was feeling pretty good apart from that. Out we go to do the long jump, and I didn't feel a ton of pressure at that point, really. Like, I was just kind of like, again, just enjoying it. Like, I knew I was in a strong position, and I knew that I was a good long jumper now. So I was like, just go out and execute it like how you know you can. And so I'm on the line for my first attempt, and I foul it. And I just remember like having this like drop in my stomach of like, oh my gosh, like, am I going to be the next multi-eventer that like had this opportunity and then just fell out of the event?
Right. That's happening after.
That's happened.
That,
like
that story starts in your
yeah.
head.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like, that crossed my mind, and I was like, oh gosh, like, so the plan was to bring it right back. And it's really nerve-wracking on second attempt, because you want to get a jump in number 1 or number 2. You don't want to leave it to your last attempt to try and get a jump in, because you're going to hold back. So I had to somewhat hold back in the second attempt, but also still try to jump something that was like half decent, which I did do, and I executed it okay. And I jumped a pretty respectable jump, but nothing that was that special. Let's say it was 6:15. Let's just call it that. I can't really remember.
I've got 6:32 in my notes. I don't know if that.
No, that was indoors.
That was indoors.
Yeah, no, but my second attempt, I think it was 6:15. Let's just something like that.
So solid.
It was solid.
Okay.
But then for the third attempt, we decided like to send it. Like, you had one more chance to like
So
get
you're going to go.
centimeters.
Now you're back to this choice.
Yes, I'm going to go for it.
You're going to go for it.
Yeah, and I'm running down, and I hit the board and I jump, and it's further again. It's like 6:22 or 6:23, something like that. Better. But in doing that, when I took off on the board, I felt something happen in my knee. And it's hard to like I can't actually anymore recall exactly what happened, but I know that whenever it did happen, what I was saying to everyone was like, I felt like this cold feeling behind my knee. And I was like, that was so weird. And I didn't say anything to anybody straight away. That was grand. I walked back to my seat, and as I sat down on my seat, I felt this like little catch on my knee. I was like, oh, that was sore. And then I decided to stand up just to see if I would feel it again. I stood up and I felt it again standing up, and I was like, oh God, that's not good. And I was worried. I just wanted to leave. And thankfully I was one of the last jumpers, so I'd really wrapped up pretty quickly, and off we went. And I remember they wanted us to walk around the media and speak to the media, and I was thinking, oh gosh, because you had to walk up all these stairs and walk, and I was like, I just want to get back to physio. Yeah. And the most annoying thing was that it was just one of their like protocols. There was actually no media even up there. We just had to walk around this big loop for no reason, which we could have skipped. So that was a bit annoying, but I know, just went along with it, did it, whatever. Came back into the restroom, and my physio was in there, and she came over and she was buzzing because like it was a great jump. And as she hugged me, I just said to her, like in her ear, I was like, something's happened to my knee, like I've hurt my knee. She's like, right, let's sort you out and see what's going on. So anyway, she does all her tests and all, and she said like structurally I was fine, and like that's very reassuring to hear that structurally I'm fine. And I was like, okay, that's all well and good. And she strapped it up and put ice on it, and from then I had a 7-hour break between then and the javelin.
7 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing those 7 hours?
So the plan was to sleep. But now I had this problem where my knee wasn't right. And although Kerry said that it was structurally okay, that didn't mean that it wasn't still sore.
And you could feel it.
Well, every like 10 or 15 minutes, I'd like lift my knee to like stretch it out just to see if the pain was still there, and it was still there every single time. And so, like, although they're kind of, so my dad, Tom, and Kerry were sitting over to the side just chatting. I'm over at my bed, like supposed to be sleeping, and I'm just not sleeping at all. I'm tossing and turning and checking my knee the whole time.
Right.
So the hours tick by, and
You're not resting. You're worrying.
I'm worrying.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And kind of towards the end of the time,
Is that a long? That's a long.
it was really long, and like
time. Yeah.
my emotions were just building up because then it started to set in where it was like, you're in a really great position here, and everybody's watching at home, and everybody's hoping at home, and like, I don't know if I can throw the javelin. I don't even know if I can run. I went to the toilet probably like 6 or 7 times to test walking, and that hurt to walk. So it's like,
Are you at this point? Are you talking to Carrie about that, or are you just holding that to yourself?
not really. I'm not really speaking to anybody about it. No.
Okay.
And now they've all been speaking about it, but I'm supposed to be sleeping. And at one stage then I go over and I'm like, Dad, can we go and just go for a walk and like go for a chat? And I needed to vent to someone and tell someone how worried I was. Because I really didn't want people to think like that I was fine, because I really wasn't fine. I felt really not fine. And I was crying to him and like basically saying like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Like, it's really sore. Like, this is not good. And like, one of the things he said to me was like, you got to trust the medics. Like, you work with Kerry day in, day out. And when you're in a position like this, you've got to trust the medical advice that's given. He's like, we've had loads of conversations about it. And like, Kerry thinks that you are structurally fine. And I was like, yeah, okay. And he's like, you might never be in this position again. So if you don't grab it with both hands, it could slip by, and then that's that. So like, they were tough words, but also like so much truth in them, and I found a little bit of comfort in like, in also like, in just kind of hearing it, I suppose. And me and Kerry then had another conversation, and she said like, I know I'm telling you that it's structurally okay, but just because it's structurally okay doesn't mean that it's not going to be sore. And she's like, and you could let the javelin go and it could be really flipping sore, but you're not doing a ton of damage, and you're in this position. You've got 2 more events, like, you can get through it. You can put one foot in front of the other. So we then like put together some strategies on how to like make me feel better and feel more secure and like I could do it. And then my javelin coach came in, so his name's Dave, and it was time to start seeing if we could warm up for the javelin. And we had time to go out onto the track and practice throwing out on the track, but we didn't do that. We actually stayed indoors the whole time, and we started off running around in like a circle, seeing if I could jog. And then it was like seeing if we could do crossovers, like javelin crossovers. And then we started to see how quick we could do the crossovers. And then we then started to set out our run up to see where I needed to throw from, because I couldn't block with my leg. So I had to have extra recovery steps to stop before the line. And we just spent a lot of time essentially
You were
rearranging my throw,
improvising.
Yeah. And my knee was all taped up, and I could see that I was getting looks. And I know that there was some coaches and athletes, obviously, as anybody would, look at me and be like, oh, class, she's hurt. So that's good, another medal on the table.
Good, yeah,
good, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, that's also like, I can see all the side eyes and people like coming in just to have a look and then leave, and I know that that's all going on. So I'm trying my best to keep a brave face, like as well as I can. And then we went out and we set up the new javelin run up that we had just created, and we decided we'd do one javelin throw to see if A, I could,
it would stand up,
and B, if I could stop before the line and let it go. So we did one throw, and I think it was about 45 meters. I didn't try too hard in the throw, but I was like, I can do it, and I stopped before the line, so I can let one go.
And how was the knee in that one throw? Did it give you any signals, or
it didn't? It was catching and locking a lot, and like, but it was okay. It didn't feel great. Like I wasn't throwing though how I would normally throw. It was completely different kind of. But it felt okay. It felt like I could handle another throw. Okay. It didn't feel great, but it wasn't excruciatingly sore.
Okay. But you're still into, it seems to me, there's something unknowable about what's going to happen now. Yeah.
Oh, completely. I hadn't a clue what was going to happen. Like,
Okay.
my aim was to like hopefully get up high 40s. If I could hit 50, that was going to be like class. And like again, I didn't realize this is a thing that I did, but I said to Dave, like, what do you think I'm going to throw? Like, do you think I could throw 50 meters?
Yes.
And he was like, yeah, he'll be
No
fine.
no problem.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I was like, right, okay. He thinks I can. I actually later on found out he hadn't a clue what I was going to throw.
Right.
He hadn't a clue. He was like, he was really nervous for me because he was like, oh.
Well, it would have been a pretty bad form from the coach. He said,
Yeah.
20 meters maybe, if you're lucky here. Yeah.
I'm just not going to say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, but I lined up and I, again, like I had said of those other two events, I had this path where it was like, do you commit or do you not commit? And at that stage, the plan was to do one throw. And in my head, the plan was to commit for that one throw.
Give it everything.
Give it everything.
Okay.
Don't waste the throw. Don't make yourself have to do another one. Just commit to it. And I did. I committed to it, and I threw a PB, and I was buzzing like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Was that 53 meters?
Yeah.
So I've got one statistic right.
Right.
Goodness. Right.
And that feeling was like the feeling that I felt whenever I won that European bronze medal. It was like this like burst of like, oh, I don't know how to describe it. It was a class because I had just overcome like a huge challenge, and yeah, I had broken through like all these like mental battles that were going on in my head, and I just had found a way through it.
So what you're describing is it's far from a serene progress.
Yeah.
It sounds like, the tossing and turning overnight, and then that, in the balls of that stadium, with the sore knee and all the doubt that starts to come in that it was very unpleasant.
Yeah. Like it was such a change from day one because I enjoyed every second of day one, and day two was just a slog. Like I didn't enjoy any of it. Like I was just going through the motions as well as I could. And like, okay, like there was moments like that javelin where it was like it was class, but then you leave and you're back down to like, I have a sore knee and now I've got to try and run 2 laps on this sore knee, and like again there's even more pressure on me now because I'm still in a great position, but like something could happen to this at any point. I don't know what's going on, and that was the really tough part about the knee was I didn't actually know what the problem was. Like, was it worse than what Kerry thought? I don't know. I didn't know. Nobody knew. I could have got halfway around the track and my knee could have went from underneath me. I didn't know what was going to happen. And as I'm warming up, like I'm limping as I'm running, and Tom does a lot of my 800-meter warm up with me, and I can sense that everybody's trying not to talk about it too much because like you don't want to be going in with like negative energy, and yeah, it was at the same time like the warm up was fine, and I was trying to be really positive, and like I believed that I would get round it, and I didn't at that point believe I had a medal. I didn't even think about the medal. I was just like wanting to get through the 800 meters, and stand on the line. I wasn't that nervous. I just like remember just wanting to start and just get it over with. Like as sad as it was, like it had been such like a tough 2 days. I just wanted it all to be over. I was so excited for it to be finished. Yeah. And like it's maybe a little bit sad because like if I didn't have the injury, I probably would have enjoyed it so much more. Like standing on that line and being like, I'm on
the podium here if I go well.
Yeah, I run this as well as I can, and I can win a medal.
So it was more about surviving at that point.
I was completely in survival mode. Yeah. And then the race started, and off you go. And I ran it as well as I could. I didn't push myself extremely hard. I was just putting one foot in front of the other. And I ran a PB. But weirdly, like when I crossed the line, I couldn't believe I'd ran a PB because I was like, that didn't feel that quick. It just felt like I just did enough to as much as I could. And
did you realise the consequence of that at that right away, or was there another delay in finding out?
No, so I knew so all that like kind of annoyance and like being like, oh, this is so annoying about my knee disappeared with about 5 meters to go to the line because I knew I'd won the silver medal. And then I crossed the line and all knee pain disappeared. I've completely forgotten about my knee, and I was jumping around the place, and people kept asking me to jump for photos. So I was like, yeah, of course. Jump.
No, what knee? Yeah.
What knee? Yeah. I'm actually surprised nobody ever questioned me about that. But yeah, the adrenaline was obviously just so high. I was just like buzzing. And well, I was a really nice touch that they put a medal straight around your neck, because for all the photos
Oh,
we could have a
yeah,
medal on.
medal, yeah.
And it was just a dud medal. You gave that medal back and you got your own medal then the next day for the ceremony.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was class. And it's hard to like explain, like because you'd think whenever you win a medal like that, the emotions are so high and like you're kind of bursting with, I don't know, but I felt very muted, and like almost like this was all happening around me and I didn't really know how to feel. Like I didn't feel like a ton of excitement or a ton of happiness or a ton of anything. I just felt like a little bit like I was going through the motions, kind of like as it was happening. Now, obviously, I think I did like shed a few tears. Like I almost, it was like an out of body experience. I didn't. It was just all happening.
Yeah.
So much happening that like I couldn't feel anything, kind of.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
yeah,
That's
that's the only way I can
That's really interesting. It sounds a bit like Katie the person was outside of Katie the athlete looking at her going, oh, look what she did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. And you do like a lap of honor. It's just like a thing that multi-eventers do, and then you go back in, and then the whole media storm started, and I could see it was really strange actually, because I came back and there was all the people that were there wanting to record me or to speak to me, and so many people were crying, and I remember thinking to myself like, this is so weird, because like,
what's wrong
why are
with
you
them?
crying?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But like, so that was the first time where I then realized, gosh, so many people actually care about what I've just done there. And like, I had this sense of like, I've always done sport for myself, and like I've pushed myself really hard for myself, and I've won medals for myself. But then to then realize that like other people actually really care and have really got behind me, and it means so much to other people, it means so much to my country. That was like the first time I couldn't believe that was happening. And then I always felt like, oh, maybe I should cry too, because everybody else is crying. So, but it was nice. It was really nice to see how much everybody else cared. And then yeah, you're just kind of going through the interviews and it's all kind of happening. And then
So four, I mean, 4 amazing stories, 4 medals in a year.
Yeah.
Is Katie of the end of 2025? Do you feel you're different, Katie, from this time last year?
I think that like, I don't know if I would say different. I would say like I probably have more confidence in myself.
Okay, good.
And my dreams have changed and my plans have changed. But like, we started into this new season and I've got like all these new, I don't think, I wouldn't put them as problems, but these new challenges. Like so many things have changed, and I'm not the same athlete that I was at the start of last season. And it's kind of like funny, because originally we kind of thought like, oh, we finish this year and we'll just build on what you were last year, and that's great. But I had a knee injury and we're navigating that, but I'm also physically a completely different athlete, and mentally a completely different athlete. So my coaches have now got this new challenge of like having to develop a program for basically this completely different person or this different athlete.
So you're an evolved version of yourself as an athlete.
Yeah.
There's so many things in all those stories that so cross-cutting themes. The one thing, so you end up with your target at the start of the year was 6'5".
Yeah, 6'5".
And you get 6'7", 1'4".
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would have put you on the podium in any of the 3 previous Olympic Games.
Yeah.
A bronze, a silver, a bronze in that order with that score.
Yeah. I know.
Not bad for the wee girl from Dundalk.
I know. It's, yeah. It's
Um,
mad. When you put it like that, it's kind of like,
yeah. And obviously there's a whole other conversation about the future. Can we go back to a couple of things inside your story that I think people listening to this will be interested in?
Okay.
So the TV view of decathlon or heptathlon is this, band of brothers or sisters, and running around after the final event, and everybody's hugging each other.
Friends.
And then you're talking about someone looking at you going, I hope she is injured. You hope to God that's a bad one. Yeah, like I'm thinking, I'm watching, I'm a rival watching you in the high jump going, hit the bar, hit the bar. I mean, how do you keep the focus on yourself?
Mm.
And what's that? Because you're with people for 2 days over 7 events, how do you describe that relationship with people around you?
Yeah.
Or some, is it friendship? Is it
Mm.
politeness? Is it,
What is it?
do you blank people out? What is it?
Um, it's, I suppose like people do normally put like heptathletes and decathletes into this group of like we're all friends. And it is because we spend a lot more time together and we compete against each other over and over again on the circuit. But I suppose what I've learned is that like in athletics, you're an individual athlete and we're all extremely competitive. And in comparison to the sprinting guys or the distance guys, we are definitely a lot more amicable and a lot closer. That's just facts, just because we spend a lot more time together. And I think we have a real appreciation for how much work goes into training for the event and how much sacrifice goes into training for the event and how tough the competition is. But in saying that, like, I think that multi-eventers are some of the most competitive people and some of the most tough people on the planet. And to be one of the best athletes in the world, you have to be ruthless. And like, as much as I get on with my competitors and wish them well, I don't wish them to get over heights or the same heights that I'm getting over. Not to say that I don't want them to do terribly and I don't want them to hurt themselves. Like I said, whenever I seen that girl fall during the hurdles, like you really do feel for each other because it is horrible. And we do have compassion for each other. But I am, and I know that a lot of the top girls we are competitive, and in the restrooms, like you can feel that kind of air. Like it's something that you've got to get used to and be able to deal with, where like I'm lying right beside Kat, who's in third, and the other side of me is Anna, who's in first, and we're all lying beside each other and nobody's speaking because like you're going head to head now together afterwards. And you want to beat each other. So it's not that we're skipping around holding hands the whole time and wishing for each other to get over each height, but at the same time we can be happy for each other. And because we spend so much time together and you get to know each other. It's a strange one. It is a strange one. And
But they're opponents.
They're opponents, yeah. And like I am friends with some, like I'm really good friends with Jade. And we'll always be friends. And it was actually something that my boyfriend said to me after European Champs. He said, and I hadn't thought about it, he said, will you and Jade still be good friends now that like probably for the rest of your career you're going to be button heads? And I wasn't sure at the time because I was like, that's a very good question. Like I just took a bronze medal off her and she's the one in fourth. She's the one that's got to deal with losing to me.
Yeah, probably the worst position.
The worst position to finish in. And like I knew I still wanted to be friends with her and be amicable, but like for the days afterwards I didn't really know what to say to her. I didn't want to text her because I didn't want it to come across like I was rubbing it in her face at all, or I didn't know what to do. And one thing about Jade is she's class and she is going to be a friend for life. And she actually reached out to me and she was like, I just want to say like, well done, you did amazing, blah blah blah. And so from that, I knew that like we were able to park being opponents or separate being opponents and being friends. But I am sure that there's certain people that won't do that, and there'll probably be girls that'll come across that we can never be friends. We'll just be opponents. But I suppose it just depends.
Can I tell you something I was thinking about when you were describing the long jump where you had the first throw, the first run, the first clearance is a foul.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier about Peter.
Yeah.
And you said he's like an angel on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Does his family know that you think of him like that?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. No, and they message me quite often.
That's lovely.
Whenever I do things, they're like, Peter would be so proud. And I was never close with his family. I worked a lot with Peter. He was based in England and he'd come online a lot or he'd fly over. And like his wife would sometimes be in the background of videos, so I would have spoken to her now and again, but I didn't speak to her that often, and I'd never spoken to any of his kids before, but he had spoken about everybody loads, so I kind of knew them without knowing them. And it was the first time I met them was at his funeral, and it was lovely to meet them in not so nice circumstances.
Mm.
But at the same time, yeah, at that point, I suppose I was able to make a connection with them, and we've stayed in touch ever since. And it's lovely because they said to me that I sparked the joy in athletics back into Peter.
Mm-hmm.
He actually coached Jonathan Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
So like he was a renowned long jump, triple jump coach. He was a big name, like, and for him to like see potential in me was great for my confidence at that time. And yet to have their support now, is lovely.
So we're coming to the end. You'll be relieved to know. There's one more thing you brought I'm going to ask you about in a second, but just two other reflections from listening to you, Kate. One is the story about the first bronze medal, and then the difficult situation in the World Championships. Something about being in a tight corner that brings out something in you.
Yeah.
Some sort of fighter emerges.
Yeah, it's something that I've learned about myself this year. I think that like when I'm under pressure, I can like
you'll fight.
I can turn something on. Yeah,
you'll fight.
Fight. Yeah.
And what I think is very helpful for people listening, who are endeavouring to do well in sport or whatever other pursuit or opportunity they're chasing, is it's not serene all the time. You've described a lot of difficult moments with yourself where you're trying to control the way you're thinking and how you're feeling, and not surrendering to that. And that honesty is very helpful.
Yeah, completely. And I think that like with world champs, although like going through day 2 and it being so tough and having that like horrible knee injury and like going through all those emotions, in hindsight, there's something nice about looking back and going through the story and it not just being an easy road from start to finish. And although day 1 was class for me and I enjoyed every second of it, there's something nice about having a problem on day 2 and me and my team being able to navigate through it and showing that it's not all easy, and like everybody faces hardship, and it's how you adapt and overcome that then makes you a winner or loser.
And that might be the way. That might be the way.
Yeah.
Maybe it always has been the way.
Maybe.
Okay. The last thing that you brought.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us can you describe it for people listening? What have you brought?
So this is a very shallow thing for me to have brought. But it's not fake tan, it's fake tan moisturizer. It's very nourishing on your skin, but I put this on before every competition. And yeah, it's like my lucky moisturizer. I don't compete without it. And yeah, you asked me to bring things that matter to me, and this matters to me.
Okay. Can I try it? No. Oh, that's for the Christmas stocking now. Look, thank you so much. I also loved the way you pay so much respect and honor to the people, the many people involved in helping you develop your career. Talking about the future is a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But for people listening to this, and it'll be early 2026 when it's broadcast, what events should we watch out to see you in next year?
So
or in 2026?
Yeah, plans are to hopefully do World Indoor Champs. So they're in March. We'll see how training's going by then, because we're not in any rush. And then the 2 major outdoor champs are Commonwealth Games and European Champs. One of them's in Birmingham, one's in Glasgow, and I keep getting them confused. That's probably
Commonwealth, I think, is Glasgow.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then European Champs for Birmingham.
Birmingham.
There we go then. So yeah, they're my 2 majors outdoors.
Kate O'Connor, thank you so much indeed.
No problem.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great.